All right. The list of these type of players, I would think, would be shorter than it typically is for any school in the country because of the transfer portal. And that would be guys that had high expectations that have yet to meet those expectations. They could be having a crucial camp that who, whatever angle you want to take,
Yeah.
who's having a more important camp, crucial camp for them than others?
Wesley Besainth. He's a guy who's been mediocre to good, but we need him to be like the super duper star now at linebacker. Everybody coming back from injuries, so your Akeem Mesidors. I'm maybe on a limb with this one personally, but like a Ruben Bain, freshman All-American, and then didn't necessarily. I mean, I know that he had a hamstring injury and was 70% max for the rest of the year when he came back. But he's trimming down and trying to get back the explosiveness that had him as a freshman All-American. KC Kane fan in the chat, Ray Joseph. Yeah, this is definitely a make it or break it spring for Ray Joseph. I'm interested to see about Samson Okola, 5-star in the same class as Francis Mawinoa. Mawinoa is on track to be 3 years in the first-round draft pick, where Samson Okola has played fewer than 100 snaps, I want to say, in 2 years. I know he got injured as a true freshman, but, when's that 5-star going to show up? You know what I mean? And, I've talked, when Ben Congdon committed, I saw in the comments of either the video that I did, I think it might have been in the video, maybe it was on the website, stateoftheu.com, by the way. Please come on and fan with us. Where somebody was like, Ben Congdon reminds that commenter of Samson Okola of a big physical dude playing at a smaller school, and their abilities are being overstated because of that, just because of their sheer size in comparison to who they're competing against on a daily or weekly basis. There was talk about Okunlola needing to get physically stronger, especially in the upper body area when he came to Miami. I don't necessarily agree with all of the just derision about him, but this is definitely a year where I think he needs to start to show something. And if he can stay at tackle, because he is a tackle body, 6'5", or a little bit taller than 6'5", with long arms, great. If you got to move inside the guard, then you got to move inside the guard, whatever. But we need to start to see something from him. Guys who are also stepping up, Armando Blunt and Justin Scott. Justin Scott wearing a new number 5 at defensive tackle, by the way. Those guys look the part. And Casey Kane fan, another one that I was also going to mention, Josh Horton from Langston Hughes High School outside of Atlanta. He was teammates with Aaron Nolan. They won the school's initial state championship a couple of years ago as seniors and everything. Yeah, that's a guy who, like Ahmad Moten Sr., okay, cool. You're big, fast, strong at the point of attack. Maybe you do need to get, that grown man strength about you. But this spring really is integral towards that, because as a third-year player, same class as Samson Okola, right? Redshirt sophomore, we need to start to integrate you into the rotation and see things moving forward. So there are a couple of those guys. But, I mean, I see it, CG in the chat, Casey Kane fan, pretty much everybody. The one at the top of the list is somebody who's really in the midst of the fire right now. Ray Joseph. This is your moment. I know that you have a lot of talent. Otherwise, you would not have been committed to Clemson early, or we would not have gone after you as a blue chip recruit. It was unfortunate for you in the chronology of your career that you were stuck behind the all-time most productive receiver in the history of this storied program, right? But Xavier Restrepo has moved on. Ain't nothing but air and opportunity, right? Nothing but that. So if you don't step up And Malachi Tony does. It is what it is. But best player needs to play. But yeah, for Ray Joseph, yeah, that's gonna be the story of spring, really. Is he going to finally show at Miami what we saw from him at Miami Edison Senior High School, which was every time that he got the ball, you're holding your breath because he's going to go and do something incredible. Like Ray Joseph was one of the most explosive high school players I've ever seen, and I've been doing this for a long time. Haven't seen that at Miami. This is that time.
I misrepresented something I saw that we posted here at the Voice of College Football, but originated at 247 Sports. So I was a bit taken back by this because I thought this was a listing of the top 10 defensive linemen in the country, not top 10 transfer defensive linemen in the country.
Yeah.
With David Blay there in the 10th spot. But that's still, considering the depth of impact, good players that are in each one of these positions over the course of an entire transfer cycle, that's still a pretty significant place and expectation for him.
Yeah, and David Blay, a guy from Louisiana Tech who transfers in here, you expect him to be in that two deep. You expect him to step into the role of Simeon Barrow from last year. Now, hopefully, the guys you have here are developing, and that pushes him into the maybe second team, the second rotation at defensive tackle. But getting a grown man inside there with David Blay is, that you need that. Especially with all the guys that Miami lost on the inside going forward. So that helps to shore up the two deep rotation. I know that we do have Akeem Mesdor and we do have Ruben Bain, and we have all the young guys that we mentioned also who hopefully will step up. Ahmad Moten, he's in your top 4 defensive tackles. I don't care which way you slice it. You know what I mean? Armando Blunt, Justin Scott, maybe a Josh Horton, David Blay. There are plenty of options there, but getting elder statesman, a guy who's grown into, his abilities with the David Blay on the inside is really good to set the level.
Darrell, thank you for the contribution. Good to see you. Young boys get it done up front on the D line.
I'm hopeful. We got enough of them, and pretty much all blue chippers, or somebody like Ahmad Moten, who is a high 3-star with great potential to develop, that you have actually developed, because we've had other guys with that same kind of profile who have not been developed. So you see that and have him stepping up into a larger role. Yeah, this line should have been one of the best in America last year and had flashes of potential, but there are a lot of times when they were playing patty cake or playing these, the stunt games and twisting way too much, and they just were not winning up front. And that's questionable because there's so much talent. So you want to see that talent come to the forefront, young, old, whoever. You get the job done, you get the job done, but I definitely need to see there's a lot of talent with the young boys. I want to see them get it done. And anybody else. I didn't even mention Marquise Lightfoot coming back and trying to work his way into the two deep rotation, and everything. There's plenty of guys there who have the ability. We have to unlock that potential and turn it into performance, something you've heard me say about so many players here at Miami over the years.